Hello and welcome to At Home Workout number 6. Hopefully you are all with me and you're enjoying the workouts. It is, if the weather is still like it is now, it's going to be incredibly hot. So make sure that you are working out safely, that you have a towel, that you have a drink, and that you're not going to overheat in this weather, because as beautiful as it is, it's not so great for training if you don't like getting too hot and sweaty. There's no problem with training in this weather, and actually it's a really good thing for health and fitness to train in the heat. But do make sure you take precautions. If you need to take longer rest periods or lower the intensity, that's fine. Just make sure you are looking out for yourself. So today's workout involves some pretty cool stuff. We're doing a lot of lower body. We're focusing on front of legs and glutes particularly. We have got some really nice core stuff going on. So yeah, it's going to be a good one and hopefully you will enjoy it. I'm going to show you 2 rounds of 2 triceps. But what I want you to do is I want you to do as many rounds as you've got time for, because the more rounds you do, the more energy you're going to use and the better your results will be. So without any further ado, let's get going. We're going to get warmed up. So to start with, jogging on the spot. Just starting to get your blood pumping, heart rate up slightly, muscles nice and elastic so you're ready to go. And we're going to stretch out through the chest. Really nice wide stretch. And then we're rotating through the arms and moving so I don't hit my hand. And forwards. That's it. And then we're going to bring your knees up. Get everything moving that bit faster. Slightly raising the intensity. And then we're going to go into some butt kicks. Then as always, going to come to standing, rotating through the hip. Getting everything nice and limber and ready to go. There's 2 more of these. And then, as always, we're going to grab your tin of beans or whatever it is you're using. And we're going to just get moving. So, start with rotations. To start with, hips forward. And just letting the weight move round. Feeling the rotation through your upper spine and then letting your feet come up. Bigger rotation, helping to work out any tension. Then weight plate in front of you, pushing straight out as you squat down. Come a bit further away. And from the side, bottom going back into that squat, getting nice and low. Then we have tapping your beams or the weight plate forward and just coming down into a little lunge. Nothing big, don't have to worry about technique. From the side, just coming down, moving through the ankles, knees and hips. And then finally, beans, hanging down, bum back and swinging up. And you are done. So hopefully, after that you should be feeling a little warmer. Everything should be a little bit more limber and you should be ready to go. I'm going to grab a drink. Then, my friends, we are getting moving. So today's setup is quite a simple one. Resistance bands anchored into the bottom of the door, so we're working from the floor up. I've got the red band in place and ready to go. I've also got the black band that I'm going to use to add on. As always, you're going to need to chop and change how you work and what bands you use. So have a go before you commit to what band level you want. I'm not demoing everything at the beginning. I'm going to demo it as we go, so you don't forget what it is we're doing. Right, first movement is, or at least first tricep is, sumo squats into lunges, wood chops with the resistance band. Oh, hello, there we go. Just checking you're in place and you can see me. So yeah, sumo squats into lunges, wood chops, and then plank marches. So with our first one, starting in a really wide sumo squat position, so coming down low and maintaining that position. Now you might want to have something to steady yourself on if you haven't got amazing balance like me. So we're going to start in this position, we're going to stay low and transition into a lunge. Move back into that sumo squat, stay low, transition into a lunge. Back into the sumo squat, stay low, transition into a lunge. So before we get going, have a go at that one. It's quite a tricky one, and the idea is that you stay as low as you can through the movement. Then we are going into what is called a wood chop. So you start with tension on the band. I'm going to tilt you back, actually bring you up so you can see me a bit better. Starting with tension on the band, and you are bringing the band from the hip up and round. Now I'm moving from the waist, not from the hips, getting some rotation and moving through my full range of motion, but keeping my hips and my lower body as still as I can. That's the mid one we're going to do. Final one we're going to do is called a band march and some glute bridges. And what you're going to need for this is you are going to need a green band. This is the one that I choose. You're going to loop it around, put it around your feet. And the position you're going to need to be in is that your feet are going to stay nice and wide to keep resistance on the band, down into a plank position, and we're slowly marching. And then, the next one we're going to do, take the bands again, slip it over your feet, up above your knees. We're going to come down to the floor, feet hip width apart, heels digging in, knees pushing the band apart, and we are glute bridging. And with our glute bridge, we are pushing up, and at the top, really squeezing our bum cheeks. So these two exercises, done as a pair, really good for glute work. So, without any further ado, let's get going. Those are our first round of exercises. Let's do it. So, we are starting with squats into lunges. We are going for 10 of them. Stay nice and low. So nice, deep squat, holding it low, coming to the side and lunging and moving through. So the idea with this is that we stay nice and low and keep tension through the muscles. As you come across, I like to adjust my foot position. So it's pointing a bit more forward than it does in my squat. Staying as low and controlled as you can. Two more. And up. And straight into your wood chops. Going 12 on each side, lower body still and stable, working through your full range of motion. halfway through. Sorry, you're going to need to see my back for this one. Oh, actually, hold on. Let's see if Charlie's cage works. Sorry, for anyone that doesn't know, Charlie's the hamster. I don't have a person caged in my dining room. So, hips forward, lower body stable, and go. Now with this, it's a really good idea to try and make sure that your feet are the same distance from the anchor point, whichever way you face, because that way the resistance you're using is equal. Halfway through. And you can make it more challenging, as always, by moving further away from your anchor point, or you can make it easier by moving closer. I'm going to do one more because I lost count. That's it. And then coming straight down for our plank marches and glute bridges. So coming down into a plank position, bum nice and low, feet nice and wide apart. So that's 1, 2, keeping tension on the band helps keep it in place. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Turning over. Band above the knees, down to the floor. Dig your heels in because it helps recruit more of the glute muscle fibres. Hip width apart and go. Tucking your tailbone under. Big glute squeeze at the top. Pushing the band out as you squeeze. And we're going for 8 of these. And one more. And that is the end of your first round. Take the band off. I'm going to quickly grab a drink, then we're going again. Right, we are back and we are going with our squats into lunges in 3, 2, 1, go. Holding that squat position, lunging, that's it. So that's 1, 2, 3. As you get tired, you'll find that you creep up as you move. So try and stay as low as you can. 6, 7, 3 more. 8, 9, last one. Trying to stay really nice and low. And rest. Into the wood chops. So, hips and lower body stable. Starting with the hand at the hip, coming up and round. Going for 12. Should be feeling it down your sides. This hits the oblique muscles, these muscles down here. Two more. As everyone knows, counting isn't always my strong point, so make sure you're hitting 12 even if I don't. Same thing on the other side. Staying nice and tight through the tummy area. Two more. Keeping your hips forward. And releasing. Down. 4. Band marches. And glute bridges. So pulling the bands apart with your feet before you get started. Maintaining that tension and go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Then bands up above your knees, going into our glute bridges. Heels nice and close to your bum, hip width apart, pushing the knees out slightly to maintain tension on the band, and go. Big squeeze at the top. We're going for 8. And one more. And rest. So if you have time to do that round again, do it once, maybe twice more. Otherwise, grab a quick drink because we are moving on. So, next set of exercises are going to follow a little bit of a power interval. Oh my goodness. So, our power interval, sumo squat position. Sorry, let me move this down. Sumo squat position, so nice and wide. Hands ready, because we're going to drop down into a squat. We're going to touch the floor. We're going to do this 20 times as fast as we can. Go. 1, coming all the way up. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Take a little breather. If you did that faster than me, well done. I'm definitely not built for speed or endurance. So back into that position, going again. Ready and go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and rest. So that should have just raised your heart rate, raised your breathing rate. If not, well done, just me then. Oh, blimey, it's hot out there today. So next, what we have, is resistance band pull throughs. For this one, I'm going to be putting the bigger band on the setup, on the anchor point. So looping it through the middle. Attaching it to the D-ring. And then same on the other side. And with this one, I'm going to move you over here. You want really quite heavy resistance, or at least as heavy as you can go, because you're going to come forward and get loads of tension on the band. I want you nice and wide in a sumo position, and you're going to let the bands pull your hips back so you've got a really nice hip hinge, and then we're going to pull forward and squeeze with the glutes. If I move back so you can see a bit better. So hip hinging back, pulling forward, and a big squeeze with the glutes. So for anyone that has Romanian deadlifted with me, it's basically that move, but rather than having a weight in the hands, we're using the resistance bands to provide the resistance. So that's the first one we're going to do. Second one we're going to do is a lunge with a knee. And this is slightly more dynamic than our normal lunge. I'm not adding in a jump, although you can if you want to. And I like to reverse this one. So you don't have to, you can do it forwards or backwards. What we're doing, lunging and bringing the back knee up. And what this does is it makes it a bit more dynamic, which increases your heart rate a little bit. As I said, you can come forwards if you want to, so stepping forwards and then bringing the knee up. The only thing with stepping forwards is you have to reset between each one, or you just need a long space to be able to walk through them. So you could do it forward, a knee, and you could alternate them. My personal preference is a reverse, but it's up to you. As long as you're hitting 12 on each leg, I'm not too worried. So what we're going to do next for our final exercise in this round is an absolute joy of one, and it's called a hollow body hold. Now the idea of this exercise is that it does something similar to the plank, where it contracts all the muscles in the body and makes you hold them, but it's the other way up. So I'm just going to show you, I think. You want to be lying down, arms out behind you. Now with this one, you don't want this. So you can probably see without me putting my hand through, I have a really large gap under my back because of the arch in my spine. If you've got this, like me, you need to get your thumbs, tuck them under your tailbone, because that helps tilt your pelvis and keep your back in contact with the floor. And then what we're doing is we're coming up, bringing, we're going to have to move the phone for this, bringing our legs up into a banana position, but they're still low to the floor. And then, if I tilt you the other way, sorry for the dodgy camera work, coming from a lying position, and as you bring your legs up into that banana position, same with your shoulders. And what you're doing is you're maintaining this hold for as long as you can. And it should start to shake pretty quickly. I'm already shaking quite violently because everything is working hard and contracting. And what I want you to do is I want you for each round to hold that for as long as you can 3 times. So you're going to hold it, rest for 5 seconds, you're going to hold it, rest for 5 seconds, then you're going to hold it and you're going to rest for 5 seconds. Now, I don't know how long I can do these for because I've never timed myself. I'm going to hold them for as long as I can, but you don't have to meet my timing. Just do it for as long as you can hold it for and then rest. And as long as you're doing it 3 times in each round, that's fabulous. So without any further ado, let's get going. We are starting with our pull throughs with our band, and we're going for 12 of them. So standing in that nice wide position, hips hinging back and pull. Pull and a big squeeze at the end. The bands creak a little bit for this one. And rest. And then we're doing our lunge into knees. I'm reversing, but do it whatever way you want, as long as there's 12 on each leg. 1, 2, 3. I get a bit wobbly with these. 4. Sinking down with the lunge. Knee coming as close to the floor as you can. 9, 10, 11 and 12. Swapping legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. And then coming down for these hollow body holds. And I'm going to do it this way, at a bit of an angle, so hopefully you can see a little bit of what I'm doing. So lying down, thumbs under your tailbone. If, unlike me, you don't have that curve and can keep your back flat on the floor, bring your arms up by your ears, so when you bring your shoulders up, your arms are behind you. But let's go. 3 times for as long as you can, and then rest. Everything's shaking already for me. Keeping your feet as low to the floor as you can. This really hurts. I'm shaking like an actual jelly. Oh. Oh. And go again. Keeping your back as flat on the floor as you can, not straining your neck, so trying not to pull your head up. And rest. So just go for as long as you can, 3 times. I've got my last one to come. And go. Oh. Whew. Oh my goodness, that was hard. I'm very hot. So, gonna grab a drink and we're going again. Okay, so as always with any of these, if you're not comfortable with the technique and the form, let me know and I can help you out. You can send me a video and I'll make sure that you're doing it properly, because as always, I want to make sure your form is absolutely bang on, so you're making the most of the exercise and that you're not running the risk of injury. Whew, right, time to get going. Last round. Starting with these pull-throughs. Get some nice resistance on the band. If it's too easy, move further away and go. Hip hinging back. Big glute squeeze at the top. One more. And release. Lunges with knees. 12 on each leg. I have to wave my arms about because my balance is pretty rubbish. If you need to steady yourself on something, that's fine. Two more. If you can't do it with the knee, just do a lunge. And go. Excuse my squeaky socks. 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Now, down for everyone's favourites, hollow body hold. 3 times for as long as you can, between 5 to 10 seconds rest in between each. As always, I'm going to have my thumbs tucked under my tailbone to help flatten my spine. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. I'm counting to 30 in my head because I'd love to keep hitting it. No idea if it's 30 seconds or just the count of 30. So just getting a couple of seconds to breathe and going again. My feet are coming too high, just adjusting. That happens as you get tired. Your feet will rise. Everything will start to shake a bit more. Last one, go. That's it, and I am done. Right, that is the end of your second round. I'm going to get you stretched off. If you can carry on and do more of both, then absolutely do it. If you've got enough time, aim for 4 rounds, but otherwise 2 will suffice. Let's get you stretched off. So, starting with shoulders. Hopefully you're feeling quite warm. You're feeling like you've worked hard. Swapping over. I know I am. Very warm. Then pushing out, stretching out between your shoulder blades. Hands behind your back, stretching out through the chest. Coming down for glutes, I'm going to do them standing. So I'm bringing one ankle over my opposite knee, holding on to something to keep me steady and coming down. You can do these lying if you want to. And then swapping over. Coming into hamstrings. 1 foot forward, bending the back leg, tilting your pelvis so you get a nice long stretch. Reaching down elongating it further, and then pulling your toes up. Swapping over. Reaching down and toes up. And then finally into quads, grabbing your ankle, bringing it up to meet your bottom, knees together, pushing hips forward. And swapping. Well done. You are all finished. Hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you soon.